Carlos and Lisa. I'm Lisa Remillard.
And I'm Carlos Amesco. It's nice to have you with us. This week has been quite a week. It warmed up. We celebrated Earth Day, and we had an earthquake.
Yeah. Is Mother Nature telling us something? I mean, come on. Let's just be honest.
What's going on?
And the thing is that, because we live in Southern California, we are an outdoorsy community. We love to be outside. We love to be at the beach. We love to be in the parks and taking our walks. And, this whole COVID-19 pandemic has really, put a cramp in our style. But, this weekend in particular is concerning because it's so beautiful and we want to go out, but it's really, according to our governor, not the time to be out and about.
90 degrees. I mean, when you start getting 80, 85 and up, it feels like summer. We're
Right.
Californians. We're going to be outside playing. We're going to be doing our thing. And, in some parts of California, they've opened up the parks. They've allowed people to mingle. They just don't want people to gather in groups. They don't want people to, they want to everyone keep their distance, wear your masks. I mean, it's kind of a movie. It's a weird movie that we're living. It's so strange.
It's so strange. And I don't know about you. I mean, I want to go to the beach not more than anybody, because let's be honest, I don't go outside. However, I would like the opportunity to go outside if it were, but I'm kind of scared. Is it just me? I was just kind of scared to do it. I worry about my mom going outside, and I also worry about myself being out there and perhaps getting it and then infecting her. I'm still scared about it. And I think a lot of people are just kind of in that scared moment right now.
So I don't know if this has happened to you, but I have friends who want to meet somewhere. And we're going to have like a get together at the beach. Okay. That's not yet open. Okay. So this is,
who are your crazy friends?
No, we're starting to get a little cuckoo. I'm telling you, this has happened. This is a real thing. We could just have, everybody brings packs their own food and their own drinks, and we'll do a little, happy hour thing, and we'll be 6 feet apart. We'll be fine. And I said, that's exactly what they told us not to do. What part of that don't you get? But there's some people who are so social that this is killing them.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot.
Installation. I got a guitar right there, and and I'm fine. I got my computer, my phone. I'm fine.
Right. Me too. I'm totally fine with it too. But I see it too, and especially this weekend when it's so beautiful, it's so hard. The temptation is not, is to go out there. But we were also talking about the fact that not only you mentioned at the top of this is like, not only is it beautiful weather, but like there's also earthquakes happening. We saw a couple of weeks ago a tornado, and hurricane season right around the corner. So this is all going to happen with coronavirus still prevalent in the country as well.
I know, and that earthquake was a reminder that we live in paradise and we live in hell, because we have to deal with earthquakes. And pretty soon, as the weather warms up and all that green vegetation in the hills dries, we're going to have an unbelievable fire season again.
I was thinking about that too, because remember when it was pouring rain? It's pouring rain, so everything is green and beautiful, and then it's going to dry up. And our fire season, I was just thinking about that last week.
Happy Earth Day, people. That's
look, and here's the thing:
the weirdest Earth Day list last week. It was crazy.
Right. We bring it up. We're not trying to scare you about it, but what we are trying to do is make sure that your wheels are turning, and you're thinking too that you need to prepare yourself for that on top of COVID-19, because guess what? COVID-19 doesn't know that there's earthquakes. It doesn't know that there's hurricanes, and it certainly doesn't know that there's wildfires coming. It's going to do what it's going to do. So we want to make sure that you are protected at home as well.
Yeah. It's been really tough and so sad for some of the people that, who've lost loved ones and people who've struggled through this. I have some doctor friends who are working double and triple shifts. They're just so worn out. I haven't spoken to them in weeks. Right. I have a good friend who, I may have talked about this already, but who had a heart and a kidney transplant at the same time during this whole thing. and he's on his way home. He went home this week, and I'm telling you, it's a blessing that he didn't get it connected with anything that's going out there. And now I worry about him.
Right. I know.
You know, I'm hoping that everybody kind of keeps their head about themselves, and that, you know, the good weather is so inviting. And if you've got a yard, now a backyard and a front yard is a blessing.
Totally.
You know?
And I get that not everybody has that, and I understand that completely. And I, you know, but try your best to not go into these public places, especially when the social distancing isn't up to par.
You know. All right. So listen, Carlos and Lisa continues through this COVID-19 pandemic. We have a great show in store for you. We appreciate you continuing supporting us on KDOC and also on Beyond.TV, BEOND.TV.
And
on the
KSL.
KSL TV app. So we appreciate all of you who watch us and continue to support us. Thank you so much. So we're having a great show today. Sit back, enjoy, and
we'll be right back.
So what do you do when you're stuck at home with a bunch of guitars in your house and you decide you're going to create? Why not create? You're all by yourself. And that's what Bernardo Target has done. We call him Bird. Bird, welcome to the show. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Carlos. I appreciate you having me on.
So that's what you're doing. You're making music and you're saying to yourself, this is how I get my message out. This is how I get my music out?
No, I'm by myself at the house. It's all I really can do. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about a message, but it's not about my message. It's about the message of all of our first responders and our nurses, and that's the only thing that I'm thinking about right now. So that inspired me to write a song called "Start Today" for them.
That song is called "Start Today," and we're going to listen to a little bit of it right now.
It's my turn to start today. All we have to say is start today, start today, start today, start today, start today.
I like the line, "It's not too late. We can make this better for one another."
Yes, sir.
Tell me about how that line came to you and why the message of this video.
I watch CNN. I watch Chris Cuomo. I've been watching this ever since China, and it's affected me a lot. I can't handle people dying every day. It's crazy to me. But I also can't handle the fact that there's people that go to work at hospitals and, nurses, doctors, but also bus drivers, everybody that's getting them to the hospitals, grocery store workers, so many different people that are putting themselves in danger. And I've always promoted myself as a musician and tried to anyway, but the truth is, it's not about me. It's about them. And I wanted to practically write a Hallmark card for them. Yeah. And I wanted everybody to sign it. I want everyone to sign it.
Yeah, in fact, on YouTube, you can actually select a place where you can contribute to the video.
Yeah, no, I've kind of set up with my publicist, Tracy Harper, and with my producer, Andrew Bowen. We've come up with a website, starttodayvideo.com, that you can go, and it has two things you can do on it. You can click to see the video, and then you can click to download your videos onto it. There's not going to be a lot of space to do it, but the whole point is in a couple of weeks Andrew is going to make a video, a full-on video with everyone in it. So far, I've done a reference video, which is what you can see.
Yeah.
And we have people from Peru, from Chicago, from Los Angeles, from here in Birmingham.
I'm going to do it a little bit later. I'll do.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that. I'm going to put you all the way up in the right-hand corner, okay? Kind of like hidden a little bit, but.
Well, but I like the idea of the message. I like where your heart is. And this is the thing that I think musically we're blessed when we have musical talent and that we can share with the world. And you've done that. So, good for you. And all of us appreciate that because, as I said, your guitars back there indicate that you love what you do. And though you're home by yourself, you're willing to give and to extend yourself. And I think that might be the message, the overall message.
I think you're right. Carlos. I think that's the message of what's happening right now. It's you start thinking about other people than yourself, and it makes you a better person. It makes the message better. I think that's ultimately there's going to be a lot of loss and a lot of pain. So there has to be something amazing that comes from this, and it has to be the fact that we change. The fact, that it's not about us. It's if you would just do something for someone else every day, and if you live your life for a better purpose, I think the world's going to change in a really great way. I think we need to hold on to that.
Yeah, it's well said. Well, all right. So where can we find you besides Start Today?
Yeah. Well, I wrote it down because I just did it. So I have notes. I have some notes. Okay, I have some notes. It's obviously the hashtag is Start Today. So hashtag Start Today. And it's at Bird3Music.
Repeat that, please.
At Bird3Music. Number 3. Three music. www.starttodayvideo.com. Starttodayvideo.com. That's where you can go.
Okay.
Watch the video, and you can also on the top gives you the option to be able to record a 20-second thing of your kids. Now, see, that's another thing. This also brings families together for this purpose. Yeah. So you're bored at home, your kids are there. Have a dance party. Yeah. And show and post it. Post it to Twitter, to TikTok, to Instagram, to Facebook. Tag me in it. Do the hashtag, and show these people that we are united behind them, thinking about them. It's a big hallmark card.
Well, it's a fulfilling message, and Bernardo Target, I appreciate you so much being on our program to talk about this. I wish you great success, and when this is all over,
yes, sir.
We will play your song, "Party Like a Rock Star."
Oh no, did you see the bull? I have the bullhead right here. All right, hold on.
Okay, here we go. I knew I was going to set a. There you go.
Okay, this is my friend. This is my friend. He likes to party like a rock star. You like to party? Yeah, I like to party like a rock star. I love party like a rock. Dude, shut up. I'm in the middle of an interview, man. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Bernardo.
Thanks, Carlos.
God bless. Stay well. Be safe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
In this tough time when we are all stuck at home, not able to go out and enjoy live music, which is such a joy for so many people, artists have taken to social media to try and share their art with all of us. And some of those artists are joining me right now. The duo of YVR, Courtney and Steven Stahl. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so first of all, I mean, you guys came to me and I saw your video in your backyard of your performance. Is this are you guys just so bored? You're like, I gotta because I can't do a regular show. This is what I have to do.
Yeah, it's a world tour. We're going from the bedroom to the backyard.
What is it like for you now in this world to have to try and think outside the box to connect with your audience?
It's been fun. It's been challenging, but it's fun because there's like a whole different angle of connecting with people, which has been great in its own way.
Yeah.
So we do miss face-to-face a lot, but if this is all we get, we'll take it, you know?
Yeah. We've been going live on our Instagram almost every day. We're doing a bunch of other different outlets, to try and stay active. But, it's crazy times, but we'll forge ahead.
Yeah, we will. All right. So for people that don't know you, obviously you guys are married. Obviously people might not know that, but you're married. And you both have been writers and you've been in the music industry for a long time. What caused you to kind of break away from that and decide to do something on your own?
Good question.
So yeah, we've been writing for others for a bunch, and honestly, we were just kind of like interested in focusing on ourselves for the first time in a while, and we wanted to kind of reignite that passion of writing music that was really like authentic and honest to us. And so we kind of made it our priority for the last year and a half to really kind of love this and nurture this project. And now it's our number one priority. So it's taking off, and it's great. It feels great.
Yeah, and for Steven, he does all of the production that is in our songs, and I do the mainly melody and lyrics. And writing with other artists over the years has been really fun and really great. But there's a whole different aspect that happens when you write for yourself, and we just wanted to tap back into that, and it's just been amazing, and we love it.
Yeah.
And Courtney, I know you wrote for, you were part of that whole K-pop thing, and you wrote, so what is that like? Have you ever written a song for someone else and you're like, oh, I wish I would have held on to that one?
No, I mean, it has happened in the past, definitely, but there's a switch in the mind that happens when I'm writing for somebody else, and I know it's someone else's creative output. I know it's going to be their voice. There is a switch that happens. So there's like moments over the years where I can remember like, oh man, this is a good one. I wish this was mine.
Or
but
that's a nice melody line.
Yeah.
Or, something like that. Yeah.
Right. But overall, I think that just the emotion and energy and effort we put into our own songs it's just a different part of the brain. And yeah, we connect with those on a different level. So,
yeah.
All right. So what are you guys going to perform for us now?
So it's our single called How Can You Tell that came out end of February.
February
All right.
28th.
Yeah.
And it's out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all of the things.
All the things. All right. I'll let you guys go.
Cool. Lying awake, just kinda anxious for no reason at all. I build up these crazy expectations, but you don't let me fall. I laugh a little different when I'm uncomfortable. Truth is that I'm scared to be too vulnerable, but I don't have to say a word, 'cause you know what's wrong before I do. How can you tell when I don't act like myself? How can you tell? You know me so well. How can you tell? How can you tell? You know how I just hate the silence. I talk to fill up the space. When pressure is high, always remind me that everything is okay. And I'm a work in progress, not yet a masterpiece, but you still love all my idiosyncrasies. And I don't have to say a word, 'cause you know what's wrong before I do. How can you tell when I don't act like myself? How can you tell? You know me so well. How can you tell? How can you tell? When I'm under pressure, I overthink. I touch my face and I bite my cheek. This city makes me feel so alone. It might be hot, but it's turning me cold. But you keep me warm when my mind's a storm. Wrapped in your arms is where it feels like home. The world can be shallow, but your love is so deep. Oh baby, you bring out the best in me. How can you tell when I don't act like myself? How can you tell? You know me so well. How can you tell? How can you tell? How can you tell? You know me better.
question before I let you go. What does YVR stand for?
So YVR is the Vancouver airport code. And even though we're from LA, we went to Vancouver a couple years ago for just a typical winter vacay. We fell in love with the city, but I also ended up proposing there. So it has a special place in our hearts. So we decided to name our project YVR.
What a sweet, sweet story. Thank you both for coming in. Of course, new music, a new album coming this summer, and you can watch them and hear their great music online on their social media platforms. Thank you both. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
We've been hearing an awful lot from doctors nationally and locally about what to do and how to protect ourselves from the coronavirus. And so we decided that it might be a good idea to talk to our friend, Dr. William Seeds, who really is all about optimizing your health, for athletes especially, optimize your athletic performance. He studied advanced metabolic and nutritional medicine. So I see the big coronavirus behind you. Dr. Seeds, nice to have you on the show.
Great to see you again. Thanks for having me.
So what do you make of all of this and the things that you're hearing on TV and from the media about what we should and shouldn't be consuming, what we should be doing to take care of ourselves? What's your take on all this?
Well, I think it comes down to empowering yourself with doing the best you can do to improve your own immune system. Nobody has any immunity to this virus. It's a new virus. It's a more infectious, contagious virus. And truly, even when this vaccine or whatever comes out, I'm not as concerned about the vaccination as I am about improving the immune system for everybody. And everybody's capable of doing that. And I think that's a real important point that people have to really take a hold of, because they can do that. This is something where it's not like we're boosting the immune system. All we're doing is making the immune system more effective to give you the normal, it looks like people that are being affected by this virus are significantly affected by inadequate immune systems. That's because of diabetes, high blood pressure. All these diseases absolutely affect the immune system. So if you can take steps in improving your own immune system, I think, at least I've seen that in my practice and what I've done to prepare my patients, we're hitting home runs with this. And it's because
what are you doing? Tell me about that. What are you doing? What are you recommending?
Well, just simple. So this goes back to, you talked about athleticism. Here is something that we learned years ago with how we improved athletic performance, and that was with baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. And it seems simple and it seems a little outrageous, but I'm going to tell you, it is absolutely a game changer in improving the efficiency of the cell. And I actually had, I ran into this problem early where I had some people that were having fevers, cough, all of the symptoms. We couldn't get them tested. And I just said, look, do you have baking soda in the pantry? And they said, yeah. I said, listen, let's start building. Let's build up this slowly, a half a teaspoon of bicarb every 2 hours, and we'll start improving the buffer capacity of your, basically of your blood.
So tell me about the chemical reason for baking soda. What's the reason for that? And how does it affect our body?
So everybody gets caught up into this aspect of that, okay, you're giving baking soda as a bicarbonate to improve pH. But really, people aren't wrong when they say, hey, your body does a good job of maintaining pH. It's a normal thing. That's true, but really what's happened is the body is in a little bit of a metabolic acidosis. It's got a higher acid point than it does a base point. And the kidney just resets that basically. And I know it's a little complicated, but that's what happens. So by this bicarb improvement, what we're doing is we're improving cell efficiency. We're neutralizing that acid that acid problem that most people don't realize they have. And all people with hypertension, diabetes, they all have this slight acidotic problem. And you can improve the cell function like that. And they think, so here's the other aspect. The virus, when it infects the cell, it takes advantage intracellular of a lower pH, a more acidic environment. These are very small changes in pH, and bicarb can change that intracellular pH. And we know that. We know that in bacterial infections. We know that in fungal infections. It's no different with viral infections. In fact, it has to do with these things called proton motive forces. But the bottom line is, it's bicarb, and we've made it work in the athletic side. There's no difference in how it could affect viral replication. And I'm going to tell you something. Okay. I did this little video after that because I just kept seeing people doing better. And it was like, you know, this is something we can empower our patients with, where they all have it in their pantry. You don't have to go out and buy it. You don't have to go search for something extraordinary. Just do it. And I'm going to tell you that it's been incredible, the responses that we've seen.
It's interesting that you say you just like a teaspoon, because now this is not the first time I've heard about this, Dr. Seeds. My grandmother told me this. Is it that old of a recipe that people have actually, this goes way back?
This goes back to 1918 with the first big influenza outbreak.
Spanish flu?
Yeah. And that's when it's kind of interesting. If you look back at the literature, the docs back then wrote about treating common colds and viral influences with this bicarb. And in fact, they showed that people that were loaded with baking soda during that outbreak had much lower rates of infection. And it really does make sense. It sounds simple, but we use bicarbonate. We can use to actually treat like osteoporosis and sarcopenia. It does that. So it's a very strong argument.
All right, Dr. William Seeds, we appreciate that little tidbit. I had not heard the bicarbonate part of that, but yeah, just get some, just go buy a box and put a teaspoon in what? In water or what your drink?
Yeah,
or coffee?
So what I do is I tell people to do a half a teaspoon, and you could do that 3 times a day. If you're not having symptoms, you could just do this prophylactically. And then if something comes or you start feeling fever, cough, those things, then you can go every 2 hours, like 4 to 5 times a day for about 3 days. And I think it can give you some empowerment in trying to improve, what you're trying to do with what you have the capability of doing.
All right, where can people reach you if they want to send you an email and ask more details?
They can go to SeedsMD. All
right, Dr. William Seeds, thanks so much. Great information, very interesting, and we'll pass it along to our viewers. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you.
We are all quarantining at home. Lots of us have taken up new skills like cooking or maybe even baking, and most of us are not that great at it, but we have found someone who is. She is an expert, and she is helping us get through the challenges of cake making while we're all stuck at home. Courtney Rich, Cake by Courtney. Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Tell me everything about cake. Go.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Well, one thing I think is important to know is that it can taste amazing. And I didn't know that until I made my first cake from scratch 10 plus years ago. I had always just had stuff that was made from a box or that was picked up at a bakery at the local grocery store. Like I had never, even my wedding cake was like, nah, so. And I made my first cake from scratch, and it was a game changer. I just had no idea that it could taste that incredible.
Okay, so tell me what your double top secrets are to making sure that it is, because look, the truth is I love to bake, but I bake out of a box, and I don't hide it at all. So what is it about baking it yourself that makes it taste different?
Well, you've got so many more ingredients. I mean, the box, it's got the leavening agents, it's got your flour, it's got the sweetener in there, and you're usually just adding eggs, oil, and water. which is fine. That's a great way to learn. Or if you're in a pinch, that's all you have time for. I mean, yes, that's so fun. It's great. That's how I love to teach my kids. When my son first started reading, I would give him a box and he could easily tell what was on the back of the box, so he was able to gain confidence. But when we're making a cake from scratch, we're adding things that have heavier, more fat. So it's usually more eggs, it's butter instead of oil. A lot of times it's buttermilk, it's sour cream, things that are gonna add moisture. But above all, it just really contributes to all the flavor of a really delicious tasting cake. And so at the end of the day, you're only adding in a few more ingredients to a cake from scratch than using one from a box. And I think there's a big difference between flavor, but also texture. You won't be able to really frost a cake the same way when you're just doing a box mix. If it's just the oil, the eggs, and the water, it crumbles a little bit more. So I think what's really important, kind of the main things to know as you're just getting started making cakes, is you want to use ingredients that are room temperature. So anything you pull from the refrigerator needs to be sitting out for an hour or two, so it's room temperature. That helps your dry ingredients to better absorb the wet ingredients, and it helps your cake to rise more evenly. And I did a little experiment on one of my IGTV videos not too long ago to show you the difference of like a short cake that is made with cold ingredients versus one that's like double the size and height, and the texture is just fluffier and lighter, and that's the one that we used just room temperature ingredients. A couple other things, baking powder and baking soda expire, so don't use anything over 6 months old or your cakes will be flat and they'll be dense. And then a big thing, especially like me and you, we grew up doing box mixes, and you beat the heck out of the box mix, right, with your beaters. Don't do that with your cakes from scratch. Low speed when you're mixing so that they'll rise really beautifully.
Interesting. Okay, so I also know that, making your own is intimidating, right? Because like the box is so much easier.
Yeah.
But you are helping people with an online class.
Yes, absolutely. So I have one that's been out since November, and that is Cake Baking and Decorating 101. Like all my tips to making a great tasting cake, and then we cover like basic decorating. To me, flavor is always the most important part of your cake. Master how to bake a cake, and then we'll master how to decorate it. My second course that launches in just less than 2 weeks now is all about decorating, like next level decorating techniques, piping, doing cool stripes, the drip, wedding cakes, stacking tiered cakes. So a lot of fun stuff that we'll be doing that's just kind of a little extra technique that you could use once you've mastered making the most delicious cake.
How does one, Courtney, get into the business of cake? Like, I'm sure you did not go to school to be a cake decorator. Like, how does one leave corporate America and say, I'm dedicating my life to pastries and cake?
Because it was totally by just happy coincidence, accident. I mean, I was, like I said, 10 years ago, I just made my first cake from scratch for my son's birthday. It was kind of to impress my in-laws because they're really good cooks. And I was like, I can't do the box thing for them. So I picked a cake recipe, I made it from scratch, and it really just changed my life. But it wasn't just the way it tasted, it was the whole process. Being able to create something from start to finish and saying, oh, I did that, and feeling very proud. And so it was just, while I was working in corporate America, I was doing media consulting. I started my family. We were living in Southern California at the time. I just started doing cakes as a hobby. It was like when I had some free time, I needed like a mental release. I wanted some just kind of peaceful moments in the kitchen. I would make a cake, and it just stuck. And it, was about 6 years of developing my own recipes, trying recipes, and just teaching myself, because I thought it was fun. Even the trial, even the error, I was learning along the way, and it just started to fuel a passion. And so about 5 years ago, I started my blog to share my own recipes and just everything I learned along the way to help other people do it without as much failure as I had.
Okay, as we wrap up, I'm going to do a lightning round, one-word answers, okay?
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Favorite cake to make?
Oh my gosh, probably right now my creme brulee cake.
Okay, least favorite cake?
Least favorite cake, Oh my gosh, I've never been asked that question. Are you kidding? I've never been asked that question. My least favorite cake? I can't answer it. I don't know.
Okay, go-to cake.
Go-to cake in a pinch would just be a classic yellow cake with chocolate buttercream.
Last question. What's the easiest way to make delicious dark chocolate frosting?
Oh, okay. You've got to use actually really good chocolate chips, good baking chips. So Ghirardelli, Guittard, and use dark chocolate. We're adding powdered sugar in that frosting. So don't start with the milk. Don't start with semi-sweet. Get a good quality chocolate to get started.
And where can, lastly, everybody go to watch you online and teach us how to make cakes?
All right, so Instagram, I have a ton of videos and posts and information there. It's Cake by Courtney. And then my website is cakebycourtney.com. And that can take you to my shop where I have my own product line for cake decorating tools. You can get aprons and all the spatulas and the scrapers I use, and then also my online class.
And then lastly, will you please make me a cake?
When this is all over, let's make one.
Okay.
Well, we've all been locked up in our homes for, I don't know how many, it seems like more than a month and a half now, going a little stir crazy. We've lost our routine. We're not going to work. We're staying home, and some of us are getting a little flabby, except unless you do high fitness or do any kind of fitness. That's been part of my routine. With me is Emily Nelson and Amber Zenith of High Fitness. Welcome, ladies. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us. We're excited. We wish we were by the beach, but we'll stay in our cold weather places.
I know. Yeah. It's very nice here in California. And I must say that this is something that a lot of people have been talking about, is the routine that we're kind of out of our element. We're not really doing the things that we should be doing. So let me start with you, Emily. What have you found in this COVID-19 environment from some of your clients, some of the people who are used to taking classes from you?
Yeah, so when this all started, and we were in your studio a couple months ago, we were talking about our in-person group fitness classes and how it's just so important to get out and get that group, when suddenly it was taken away from everybody, right? You can't leave your house, and people are so used to this, their workouts and everything, that it just, people started going crazy, and they're like, we need our high fitness, we need our workout, like in this panic mode, and we're like, hold up, because we didn't have the proper music licensing, anything to make this happen. So much more goes into it than you think. You can't just pop up and start teaching these classes like everyone thinks. So we really had to completely pivot our business from an in-person to an online fitness, because the people could not live without it. We believe it's all about the mental. When you work out, you should be working out for your mental more than your physical. And we need to get this in people's homes immediately so they could shake it off, get out of their funk. And that's exactly what's happened as soon as we could get it in their homes.
All right, let me go to Amber now, because she hit on something that's really important. So we're connecting on Zoom. This is like a common thing. So technology has made it available for us to connect. Tell me how are people that committed? They're so committed that they'll go on Zoom and follow what your program is, your exercise program is?
Well, I think a huge part of it, they absolutely are. We can't count how many emails that we get daily and texts and messages on social media saying, thank you, you guys, for keeping this going. You're saving me. So they actually are doing it. And as someone that's addicted to fitness and loves it, it does take serious discipline to stand in front of that TV and do the entire workout of any workout. So the fact that people are begging us for even more is amazing. One thing that I'm finding is I've been asking people, like, when the COVID's gone, what are you going to do? Like, what are you missing the most? And everyone's not saying the fancy vacations. They're not saying other than my routine. That is what I miss. I miss my routine. I miss meeting my girlfriend before I work out. I miss picking up my kids from school and missing them, So what we've created is a routine for people with these live classes, because we do the same times every week so people can put it in their little calendar. There's nothing else. They're wide open. So they have this set in their calendar, and it's something to actually look forward to and create kind of a pseudo routine within this crazy environment.
So you two are in different cities. So tell me about how you set the schedule, Emily, and how many people participate in High Fitness.
Yeah, so we have high fitness live classes that are happening by Amber and I through our corporate site and everything. And they're happening, we chose times like noon and 8 p.m. or a 6 p.m. for the East Coast. And we're having 3,000 to 5,000 people log on to every class that we do. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's crazy. We're like, well, the pressure's on, yet you're staring at this tiny little screen. So it's like so hard because you're giving your all. But what I was going to say is we have thousands of instructors across the United States who I am so proud of, who have pivoted, taking their classes onto Zoom just like this with all the music technical. You never know what's going to happen. It could shut out in the middle of it. And they have learned this whole new way to offer it to their clients. And it's just so amazing to watch. And you do like, it's not the same community, but knowing, oh, hey, all me and my girlfriends are getting on at, like today we did one of the classes and we FaceTimed with our friends to watch the classes being done. So you felt like you had someone watching you, you know, you do what it takes to have that accountability partner.
So what is high fitness, Amber? Explain to me what kinds of exercises you do and why you think it's so good for you.
Okay, so first off, we've brought aerobics back. So that's the first way to describe high fitness is remember old school aerobics. Well, we've brought it back, but we've made it super modern. So how we've made it more modern is with different genres of music, making the moves super safe. Back in the day, they used to be standing up, laying down, kicking their leg, running, stopping. So we've made it super safe. We've made it super easy to follow. So anyone can do it. There's typically just 4 moves per song. We've created consistency within the workout. So the same moves are done by all the instructors to a certain track. So people start to really get to know what they're doing, which empowers them to work harder when they feel like they are empowered to do so. So what we've done is actually, we spike the heart rate. It's actually a bell curve. So we take the heart rate to the sky and then we drop it down, but you would never know because you're having so much fun. All this technical stuff doesn't matter because we rock it out to fun tracks. We do toning tracks, we do cardio tracks. There's different tracks throughout, but you're having so much fun with your crew. And even if you're online, these faces and your instructor and the music, fun is the driving factor. So we always say, it's not about the 6-pack, it's all about the high. Yeah. So the 6-pack comes if you do high fitness, obviously, but we don't make that the focus. It's about the great feeling that you leave going, okay, now I can get through my day with like a feeling of euphoria that the workouts give to you.
And finally, Emily, I want to take it from there. The euphoria, I feel it when I work out here at home and I do my sit-ups and stuff. I don't do a lot of cardio because there's not a lot of room for that. But tell me about the mental high that you do get when you work out and how this is helping us cope with what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, the high endorphins and that wake up that you get when you start moving your body, it's amazing. Like just knowing, and I think that's why we've gotten so many messages of people saying, thank you so much. We ended up actually putting 2 full YouTube free classes. We're offering all these live classes and our YouTube classes for free to anybody. Oh, cool. And they're coming to us saying, thank you so much, because it is all about those endorphins during this time where we're scared, fear's taking over, uncertainty. To get those exercise endorphins is imperative. Like it has to happen for most mothers, fathers to cope with what's happening. And so that's what we're trying to give to people with fun music, cardio moves, toning moves. All we're saying, I'm like, even if you did 10 minutes of it and you got that, like, oh, I woke up for the day, that's all that matters, because we truly need it more than ever. And I hope people get addicted to it now, like those endorphins, that they want it even later.
Well, you two are an inspiration. Thank you. In this kind of dark time, it's nice to see your bright and smiling faces, and we're going to have to join High Fitness. All right, tell our audience where they can join in.
Okay, so if you go to our Instagram, it's high.fitness. So right on our bio, we are offering these classes for free because we just want to get it out to people to feel good in this crazy time. So you just link into our bio and you're on the link. So the live classes on the highlights and the Instagram has the list of the classes. And then also Emily can tell you about the YouTube channel that we have as well.
Yeah, if you just go onto YouTube and you search High Fitness, we have 2 full workouts on there that you can do at any time that works for you.
All right, I gotta go to check out the channel, do the workout today. Thank you so much, ladies. Emily Nelson, Amber Zenith of High Fitness. It's so great to be with you. Be well, be safe. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for having us.
I don't know about you, but Governor Andrew Cuomo's press conferences are like a daily appointment for me. Like, I love them because I just find so much joy in the lighter moments that he talks about.
Past all the serious stuff, and he has a conversation with his brother Chris, or he's talking about his family. He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
So he talked about his 25-year-old daughter bringing her boyfriend over to family dinner, which of course was
the boyfriend.
So one of the reporters asked him, well, listen, here's what the reporter asked him, and here's his response.
Because there's only two options. Either you like the boyfriend, in which case you say, I like the boyfriend, or you don't like the boyfriend. But you can never say you don't like the boyfriend. I learned this lesson the hard way. Otherwise, it triggers NDS. NDS is natural defiance syndrome. It's not documented, but it is a psychological condition where if you say as a father, I don't like him, natural defiance syndrome kicks in, and then they like the boyfriend more because he is opposed by the father. So the answer has to be, I like the boyfriend. In this case, I actually like the boyfriend. But even if you don't like the boyfriend, the answer can only be that I like the boyfriend.
You gotta say you like the boyfriend. You can't say you don't like the boyfriend.
What's the syndrome? The
NDS, the natural defiance syndrome. It automatically triggers that if you don't like the boyfriend.
I mean, we've talked an awful lot about the little kids, but imagine having a teenager or somebody in their 20s at a home stuck with you as a parent. Oh my gosh,
Oh my God. I mean, in some ways, he becomes like the dad of America when he's like, you gotta like the boyfriend. You can't not like the boyfriend. Especially the dad with the kind of adult daughters, you know? There's a lot of you out there, and God bless you for hanging in there, so.
He put a smile on my face, so that was great.
Me too.
All right, well, thanks for watching our show today. We appreciate your support. Watch us always on Beyond.tv, BEOND.tv.